Hey y'all, it's Adrielle. Welcome back to another episode of It's the Bread Aisle. On today's episode, I am joined by one of my best friends, Mo, who is one half of the podcast Two Girls Shooting the with Em and Mo. It's an amazing series. They talk about everything from sisterhood to adulting to aging to motherhood to everything. It's one of my favorite podcasts. I listen to it regularly. I also like to join their lives on Instagram as well as YouTube, so please check them out. On today's episode, Mo and I are talking about the scarcity mindset, codependency, dining out alone as a Black woman. So without further ado, okay, just one more thing before we get into the episode. I had a number of people reaching out to me asking me about coaching opportunities. For a while, I just didn't have the bandwidth to take on any additional clients, but that has since changed, and now I'm accepting one-on-one clients. I've also launched a 6-week group coaching program for Black women. This program is designed specifically for those who are looking to transition into or elevate to that next chapter. I'll add the links to the description below, but please apply if you're interested. If cost is an issue, please drop me a note. I don't want to turn anyone away, but enough of me talking. Let's get into the episode. But dining out as a Black woman in predominantly white spaces.
We just experienced. I mean, I didn't mean
that. Oh, it's just, it weirds me out when people are like, you're so brave. I can't believe you're out by yourself. Or traveling, like, not now, but before when I was actually traveling. People be like, oh my gosh, are you waiting for someone? I mean, in some cases I say yes, because I'm like, I don't know what you're trying to get out of this, right? You have to be mindful and exercise some discernment. But it's sad. It goes back to the C word. For those that don't know, the C word is codependency. And I guess just people are really afraid to just exist in their own space, right? And I think staying on brand with this show and who it's for Black women specifically, I think it could be very limiting, right? You're just confined to who you know, or constantly being influenced, or I only go do this if I have someone to go with.
I literally never do anything. If I
would do nothing.
I would be in the house all day. Like I go out by myself all the time. I have no shame about it. I'm happy to go by myself, but people do cringe at it. They like, oh, I couldn't, like they're so embarrassed because they need that validation of other people. I mean, it's just part of the human condition, I guess.
Right. But I'll say it's that, and then there's just like a fear, like I can't just, I don't know, maybe it's confidence too. Maybe part of it is building your confidence to be able to just sit in the space and take up space.
Fear what? Easy? What's the fear?
I didn't do it like back in the day. Like I was afraid to like go do things on my own, especially when I wasn't as confident. When I was heavier, I wasn't as confident. And so I wouldn't go, like to go sit at a restaurant by myself, I would never. Now I'm like, let me go down my Yelp list. What specials y'all got? I'm taking my pictures, I'm taking videos. I don't care what you think. If it's awkward to you, that's your problem. It has nothing to do with me. But just getting to that place took time and realizing like nothing happened when I went out by myself. Like
what's going to happen? Like it's stigmatized.
Right.
But I remember when I first started, I would like bring a book or something.
Something
to do. And to keep myself occupied, because I thought I had to be occupied. And then, it's just like everything goes back to mindfulness and just being present, being in the moment. Like, what are you there for? I'm there to eat a meal, enjoy myself.
Exactly.
I don't know. But yeah, these spaces, like you said, I don't know. Sometimes it's awkward, especially when they're like, I'm vegan, so I go to a lot of vegan places. And it's almost like sometimes I feel unwelcome, and I wonder if that's me or if that's them, the way they behave, because it'll be like taking their time to help me out or helping, others first who come after me. And then I'll make a note of it, and say, see this happen, or just a lack of customer service. And so I really appreciate it when I do go somewhere and I get good customer service. Like where we went yesterday was great.
That place.
Yeah, that was great. But again, like, you do want to meet people sometimes, and you go to those spaces and there's no space for you, really. You don't fit in, and it's like, I'm going to enjoy what I'm there for, but it would be nice to find a place. Like I'm looking for my cheers. I want to find my cheers. You know, for the youngins, that's a show. You know, that was in the
But actually, Google is free for if you're able to watch this, you can Google Cheers.
Exactly.
But yeah, like of course this dog had all morning, afternoon to eat her food, and of course she comes over here and starts crunching. Right now, as we start recording, like I have to dare to look up at me like I dare you to say something. Like constant fight to get this dog to eat her food, and then the one time I need her not to be making noise.
She wants to let you know she's here.
All the time. But yeah, it's interesting just existing in this world, and I don't know, I feel like there's just so much that they don't tell you about adulting as a Black woman that I'm like, can we create a crash course for like what to expect?
Right?
Like all the foolishness, people wanting to like look at you like you're some like, I don't know, like alien, like, oh my gosh, you're out eating by yourself. Oh my gosh, look at your hair. It's so cool. Oh my God. Like,
you cut your hair?
You cut it. How'd you grow that overnight? That was my favorite. I used to love that when I was a kid. Like, oh, you know, my mom, she's magic. like, how do you think it got here?
Yeah. And when I call people out on it, then they feel like awkward. It's like, you know, it didn't grow overnight.
Yeah.
Let's just be real about it. This is an accessory, you know, like whatever you want to call it. So
yeah. And also Black women are not the only folks wearing extensions.
Mm-hmm. Like, it's just more noticeable.
Right. I don't know. I feel so burnt out. I was so excited about this conversation before, and I had all these ideas about scarcity mindset, growth mindset. I don't know. You just hit those like moments where you're just like in a funk.
Yeah, maybe we can talk about that. I'm in that.
Yeah. You want to talk about shorts?
I'm in that as well. I just feel like, I don't know, I'm just at a state of WTF. Like, I've done what I'm quote unquote supposed to do. You know, I've built a life for myself. I've established myself as a person, you know, and I have a place to live, you know, like I'm doing everything I'm supposed to do in life, and I'm pursuing things. I have my own podcast that I'm doing, like I'm doing energize me. And I've lived all over the world, traveled all kinds of places, but I don't know. And maybe it's that carrot chasing and not being mindful, but I don't feel satisfied. Like I feel like obviously something's missing. I don't feel like there's a goal. Like, what is this all for?
Right.
When I die, like, where's the legacy?
Right. Yeah.
And so I guess that's where I am now. Just trying to figure out my place in this world, my legacy, and like, what's the point? Because it's like the costs are outweighing the benefits at this time, and so
yeah, it's a lot. It's so frustrating, especially when you feel like you've done all the right things by the book, what you were told, right? Like, I know growing up for me, it was stay in school, don't get sidetracked, don't talk to like. You and Emily were talking about on your podcast. Shout out to Two Girls Shooting. If you haven't listened to it, go like and subscribe. They have some great episodes. But yeah, Emily had mentioned like, you know, stay in school, don't talk to boys, that kind of thing. And I'm like, yes, that's exactly what I was told, and I did it, right? And I feel like a lot of Black women are told that, right? Focus, stay focused, keep your head down, do your work, collect your degrees, your diplomas, whatever it is, right? But in contrast, what I learned just a few years ago was, you know, white people and also non-Black women that I encountered, we're told, like, you know, when you go to college, you should be looking for a partner. I didn't know that.
Right? I was told, stay away.
Like, if you do something, you better wrap it up. Go to your student employment job. I had like 3 side hustles in college. I had to maintain my grades because I wasn't losing my scholarships. Otherwise, I wouldn't go to school. Like, when was I supposed to have time, though, on top of that? Even if somebody did say, oh, yeah, look for your partner, when? Right?
Exactly.
And also, at that age, I didn't know myself.
Same.
Like, I can't even imagine. And quite frankly, if I did find someone, I feel like I'd probably be divorced by now.
Same. I'd be going through a divorce.
Night and day from when I started college at 17. Like, I'm not the same person by any stretch of the imagination. And so much has happened since that time. I'm like, I'm glad on one side of it, I'm glad because I've had time to figure out myself and really become comfortable. But on the other side, it's like, I deeply crave partnership and companionship. And like you, I feel like, okay, I've done all the steps. I feel like I'm in a pretty good place. Now what?
Yeah. Did the mental health work, which is
the mental health work
people don't do.
That a lot of people don't do. Continue to do it now. You know, it's never perfect. It's never. There's no in.
Never.
Point, right?
Yes. The doing the mental health work.
Exactly. Yeah. But so many people don't. Yeah. Or they're like, oh, I don't need that. Like, even now, like, despite how prevalent I feel like it is for people to talk about mental health, especially on social media, I encounter people in person, or I'll have conversations with people and they're like, oh, I don't need that. Or like, why would I go to therapy? Like, there's nothing going on. I'm like, that's not, like, you don't have to wait for a specific thing, right? Or to feel bad, or to be looking for whatever, a certain thing to go to therapy. Like, you can just go to say, hey, I'm just trying to learn myself better and, you know, become better aware of who I am, more mindful, like you said. And I think the more people I encounter that have done that work and done it successfully, because you could go to therapy and be paired with the wrong therapist or have the wrong approach, because there's different types of therapy. And you might think you're doing something, but in reality, you walk into the circle and nothing's really happening.
Echo chamber where somebody's just feeding you whatever you want to hear.
Exactly. And I've encountered therapists like that. And I was like, this is not helping. Like, I need tools. Like, help me identify this issue and then use a tool to improve it somehow. But I feel like the more people I encounter that have gone to therapy, found people and approaches that work for them, are constantly elevating in some way. Not to say other people that don't, you know, that skip therapy can't do that. Rue, please. Not to say that, God, I'm gonna have to do so much editing fooling with you. I don't even know.
Let Rue have a cameo. Come on.
Please. I feel like Kid Fury, speaking of which, I hope he's doing well.
I know, 2 weeks, nothing.
I miss Kid Fury. As a sidebar, speaking of mental health. Yeah, I hate that some people find themselves in a place where they can't recognize how great they are and how much like joy is gonna make me cry. Like how much joy they're bringing to like other people's lives. And he's one of those people. Like, remember I was back when we met, I was listening to the read.
Yeah, I think you're the one who told me about the read.
And I'd be at work like, they are speaking to my life
right
now.
Like, I was like, my people,
one of us. So yeah, I just, you know, I really hope he finds that. And I hope people that are in that same situation, I've been there before. Like, I really hope he finds his light and just keeps pushing, because
I know
that's game of life it's the ghetto. It's the ghetto.
It is. That was frustrating for me too, because I think that's why it hit me so hard, is because he's living what I think I want to live, you know,
right,
like
right.
But you know, and never, you know, the grass is always greener and everybody's life is unique. And so you can't, you know, I don't know what his personal demons are. But as far as manifesting the podcast and monetizing that and everything, going on tour, creating a brand, like those are all things that I would love to have, you know? So I guess that's why mental health is so important, just to show you that, you know, no matter where you are in life, you're going to have trials. And so figure out how to deal with them, because there's never going to be like, we crave partnership, for instance. I'm not saying that once I get a partner, everything's going to be fine. Right. I know that there's going to be problems. I know that life is not going to be a crystal stair with a partner, but I do want to experience that. I want to see how it is. Maybe I won't even like it, but I would like the chance to be able to experience it and have that foundation, that grounding, that shared responsibility, that shared goals and all of that. And so I would love to experience it. So I'm not saying that's going to solve anything. It's just something that I would like to experience. And also I'm human, and that's part of human nature, you know?
Exactly. I completely relate. Like the couples that I've interacted with a few couples recently that I feel like they're in pretty good places in terms of relationships. Two of the couples I've spoken to recently did couples therapy together.
Nice.
And just realizing how they interact with each other is something that like I want to experience. Like they're still separate people, have their own lives.
Yes.
Like they figured out the right balance so that it's, I mean, codependency is there, right? It's natural for all of us.
That's
to,
natural.
it's okay, but they figure out the right balance where they don't like, I can actually breathe and like exist in my own space when you're not here, or I'm going to go out and hang with my friends. I might invite you, I might not, like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You're not going to feel any type of way, right? But they find ways to kind of uplift each other when needed, or kind of fill the gaps, like a puzzle piece, like we were talking about. Like it's like, I'm gonna help you elevate, you're gonna help me elevate. You might not be feeling good today, I'm gonna, you know, help lift you up. I know the sirens every time. It's New York. Y'all gonna have to just accept this. Get this work. This is reality. Between dog barking, growling, crunching food, sirens, like air conditioner popping, snap, crackling, like, oh gosh, the life of New York. But
that sounds like a healthy relationship.
Yeah, like, right. But yeah, I like when I met and encountered those couples, it was like goals. Like,
yeah, I've met couples like that, and it's so fun to be around them because it's, I don't know, sometimes it's awkward for me hanging around couples because I feel like a third wheel. But
same.
Yeah,
but y'all know, but same.
But then it's like when you meet those couples, it's just like it just flows. Like, it's just like it's like hanging with a group of friends. They're individual people. We're all just having a good time and existing, and that's what I want. I just want someone to exist with. You know, I don't want them to. They don't have to like everything I like, or be up on my all day. I don't know if you can curse on here, but
we'll bleep some things. We good. You know, my language is terrible.
But you know, it's like balance. Balance. So
all about balance. Gotta manifest.
Manifest.
Keep pushing.
Got to get there first, you know, so figure out, I don't know, this is all hypothetical. Like, I have no idea. I might
it looks good from the outside.
So, you know, it's all hypothetical.
But I think we have good examples in terms of our friendships, right? Like we both have good friendships, and established ones. And I think we're just looking for the step beyond that, right? You know, like I'm just friendship and some like, you know, like, you know, like, and yeah. But not friends with benefits. Let's be clear. Like that's not, I'm talking about like somebody to build legacy with.
Yeah.
Like I realize the more I reflect on what I want and what I'm looking for, like that's something I want. Like I want my partner to be someone I'm like building something with.
Yes.
And working towards. We don't have to like the same things or be in the same industry, but we're both building together in some way. So that's important. But
yeah.
I gotta make some edits to my list.
Right. I need to write mine down again because it had some bull on there. But I feel like I'm getting little breadcrumbs because every time I think of something and it seems impossible, I'll meet someone, not for me, but I meet someone. Like I'm in my bucket list is my vegan commune and winery. I met someone who had a farm and a winery in another life. You know, but they were no longer into that, you know, no longer drinking and all that stuff. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, these people exist. It was all hypothetical until it wasn't. So it's like, okay, these are little signs that God's letting me know I'm on the path. Right. You know, I might be 70 when I finally meet, you know, whoever I'm going to meet, but it's out there. Like the people are out there.
Yeah. I mean, I think, you know, one of the things I'm trying to test out is just like, well, you and we talked recently about getting back into the apps, like, not that we really fully left, but we were like, we're going to be a little bit more intentional. But for me, I find it draining. I'm like, this is exhausting using dating apps and trying to like navigate conversations and hit dead walls, like, or dead ends. It's exhausting. And I feel like it also like chips away at you a little bit, like chips away at your hope.
Yes.
Right? Like, I'm like, oh, there's no hope. But then I go out and I meet interesting people and they're not for me. And I'm like, okay, like you said, like breadcrumbs, it's like, okay, well, if there's this, then there has to be someone for me.
Yeah, they're not the only one out there who's done this. Like, I remember we were chatting last night and I was saying how these people were so passive with their responses. And then, and so I did, when I showed you what I sent, I finally got a response and it said, I'm looking for something casual. I don't have the time or bandwidth for any more right now. And this person's like 45 years old. So I'm like, good
Well,
for
age
you.
is just
But
a number.
yeah, but I'm just saying, typically people are more settled at a certain age, but not in this case, not in the dating space. If you're not, it's almost like the leftovers are what's out there. It's like, if you're not already in a long-term relationship, you're not looking to be in one.
Yeah.
Or I get the ones who are already in a long-term relationship and just trying to get something on the side. And I'm like, why is that? Like, why is it that these people who are already in a relationship want to go out with me, and versus are single? So,
or pick someone who wants the same thing as they do, right?
Yeah.
Like, why not? But I think it's because you're different, right? From what their norm or who they're with already. And they're like, I'm just trying to get that out there and explore something.
Have their cake and eat it too.
Exactly.
Like the guy you met, remember we went to our friend's show in Brooklyn that time, and I had brought a date.
At our Black Cheers?
Yeah. Well, it wasn't our Black Cheers, but we ended up going. It was the person from there was performing at another place, and we went. And I introduced you, and then I looked the guy up and found out he was married. I mean, we never said
it's somebody else then.
We never said it was a date, but this was in Prospect Heights or Crown Heights, the show, the performance.
We haven't been out so many places, child. I don't remember. But also, I've encountered so many married people married men at this point, and they didn't disclose that until I asked for it, and I'm just like,
yeah, he never disclosed it, and he was so fun. I think he got you a drink too. I don't remember. Well, he was just so generous and friendly and everything, and
I do remember that. Yes, yeah. How would we know, right? Like.
I mean, that's the red flag. It's like, is he cool? Does he vibe? Probably married. Like, that's sad.
I hate that. That's so unfortunate. So unfortunate.
Because they don't have a risk.
Right?
I think that's what it is. They don't have anything to lose. So they're like, just out here.
I mean, I think it's one thing if, you've agreed with your partner to do that, but the folks that have not had that conversation and that are just out here doing what they do.
You're
not giving your partner a choice or a chance to decide. It hurts my stomach. Like, I hate that level of deceit, and I don't understand it. But again, you want your cake and you want to eat it too. And it's just like,
communication. It seems like communication in relationships is a big issue. Like, people just don't know how to communicate. So that cheating is a form of communication. It's like, I don't know how to state my needs, so let me go out and get something else.
Yep. But I also don't want to lose you, and or I know how you tend to react to things, so I'm just not going to tell you, or I'm not going to say. I was having this conversation with a friend of a friend recently, and he basically was like, "Oh, I'm just not going to tell my girlfriend XYZ." I'm like, "You're not going to tell your girlfriend of 4 years that you're hanging out with one of your other women friends?" Like, I feel like that's
shady, yeah.
And I'm just like, and it was all because I already know how they're gonna react, and I don't want her to, feel each other. And I'm just like, that hurts my stomach. That makes me not want to date, because I'm like, if that's what someone's doing behind my back, I don't want any parts. And I think that's also part of why you and I are taking longer to find whoever we're supposed to be with, because we're not settling for the bullshit. I'm not upfront. If you don't know how to communicate, I'm not teaching you. I'm sorry. I just, and I'm talking bare minimum, just being transparent and open and not defensive if I offer feedback,
that part,
or trying to gaslight me. I give you feedback and you're like, well, but you do this. But we're not talking about me, boo-boo. We can talk about me. I'm happy to. I love some feedback because I'm trying to grow. But I can't deal with that. And I know a lot of people that have been in relationships or still are that do. And I'm just like, aren't you?
Yeah, and the games and
but they don't want to separate.
Yeah.
But then I get those benefits too, of having a partner and having companionship. And
sounds nice. I mean, I want to know. I want to know.
I want to know. Oh, we're going to get there, boo. We have to.
I hope so.
Don't hope. Manifest. It's happening. It's going to happen.
It's in the works.
It's in the works. This is the journey.
Let me start rejotting my list down.
Yes. Do you care to share any of your list items?
I mean, they're pretty basic list items.
Okay.
So I don't really have like a looks requirement. I guess I'll put in there that he's taller than me. I mean, I don't even really care, to be honest.
I'm gonna actually tag team you on this and start working on the list. Because I did tell him, I was like, I'm going to actually write a physical list because I tend to type into my note stock. I just like the cloud. I open my laptop, it's there. Open my phone, it's there.
Right. I'll take a picture of it too, just to document, just in case, because I obviously lost the last one. But I'm breaking it down to looks, which is going to be very short. Personality.
Ooh, I like this. Categories.
Finance.
Ooh.
This is emotional intelligence. Those kind of things.
Mandatory.
Family relations, hobbies. And for me, we don't need to have the same hobbies and things. But you have to at least want to do some stuff, like be open. You don't even have to. I don't have hobbies. Just be open to do stuff. You like to travel. You have a passport. You don't have TSA pre-check yet. You don't have global entry. You're gonna get it.
I can't. I'm not yet gonna get it.
I'm writing it down too. TSA.
I can't.
Global clear whatever you have. Clear whatever,
Oh, leave it to Mo. I need to. Okay, let me look at these categories too. Like, all right, would you say looks?
I'm just trying to.
I like the groups though. I love
looks, finances, family, personality, emotional intelligence, family plans. He wants kids.
Yeah, love that.
Finances. He's established, has savings, investments. Although these days,
right. I feel like I am finding myself leaning more towards people that are in a similar space as I am. Like I'm having, now that I'm 2.5 years into having my own business, like I gravitate more towards people that are either entrepreneurs or part of the tech space where they have some kind of flexibility. Like I struggle a lot more with like the 9-to-5 crew. Because even just like talking to them, explaining to them what I do or that I don't have a set schedule, people are like, and that's fine. I know it's still a relatively new thing, but it's just,
I'd like
hard
someone
to align. It's hard to align.
That's true. I want someone who's definitely flexible, who works in tech or whatever field they're in, could work in legal, anything. Entrepreneur would be great because then I can maybe learn something from him.
Travel together, remote life.
Can learn, travel together, learn about businesses and things like that. So that's important. But definitely flexible. I can't have someone who's clocking in 9 to 5. That's just limiting and waiting for like PTO and stuff like that. It's limiting and I want to be able to, like, my life is free. I want
have that freedom.
Have someone else who's able to be free with me. So that's important.
I mean, I think, well, just in general, for the sake of the show, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with people that still have 9-to-5s. And I think,
of course not,
a lot of people really need that structure and stick to it. But I feel like
I would just love it. We can just go to Virginia. Let's go get an Airbnb in Virginia. We'll work from our Airbnb and then go out and explore,
I know a couple doing that right now. One of my colleagues in the DEI space. He's doing that with his partner. I can't remember where they were last, but when we touched base like a month and a half ago, they were like, I think South America or somewhere.
Nice.
Remote life. And I was like, that's so cool. They're just going around, like they do their work. They have pretty much aligned their schedules roughly. And then when they're not working, they go explore the town and live their best.
And also being able to take time off. So you don't want to be going on vacation and working. Like that's different. This is just giving you more opportunity to explore and see different things you may not have seen. So that's important. Emotional intelligence is a must. Like you said, not getting defensive. Someone who's able to take feedback and able to give it
Yes.
Like, yeah, don't just tell me what you want me to hear. Give honest, authentic
Oh, that
feedback.
drives me nuts.
Yeah, like don't try to placate me. I don't like that.
Feels very manipulative.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. It's like the
Um,
withholding information.
yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's tough. I then wonder though, like, as we're like talking through this,
Mhm.
because we both heard this advice. Like some people say, write a list, be as specific as possible. Then other people are like, don't be too specific because you're narrowing down the
Yeah.
possibilities of meeting this person. And I'm like, so which one is it?
It's neither. It's all BS, to be
Like,
honest, because some people don't do anything and meet the perfect mate. It just is something to help us, really. It's like
stay sane.
to help us to try to, is to be able to see it when we see it out in the world,
Yeah.
to better understand what we want and what we don't want. So when we see it out in the world, we're able to quickly be like, no,
Right.
that's a wrap. And I used to do that on everybody. Like, no, like, and was it wrong or right? I don't, we'll never know. But some things are just non-negotiable. Like,
Yeah.
I can't have someone being defensive or like making me feel uncomfortable like that because they can't take feedback, or someone who thinks that um, I'm supposed to work and do everything at the house, for instance. So that's
Mm-hmm.
true. Yeah. Shared responsibilities.
Shared responsibility is so, so important. So important. Um, yeah, the defensive one sticks with me a lot because I feel like I've experienced that several times over the past few,
Common.
like the last few people I dated. I feel like that was a thing, and I was just like, no. And
Yeah.
especially now, I'm so firm on my no, and it's also amazing just how people react to it because sometimes it's like, well, just give me another chance, or it's like they think you're going to come around or change your mind. And I feel like a lot of people do that because they feel like, oh, I don't have anyone else, any other options.
Mm-hmm.
For me, when I say no, I've learned myself. If I'm telling you no, it's a no for me.
It's a no for me,
It's
dog.
a no for me, dog. Like, I mean, don't keep calling me. Don't call me from block number.
And I used to hate this, but
Like,
I'm gonna put it on there. Hygiene.
oh my gosh. Like,
I used to hate when people would say, like, why do you have to say hygiene? I mean, not that saying it is gonna do anything, but still.
for your list.
Please wash. Please brush floss,
And just as a general, like, because this show is all about knowledge sharing. The importance of dental hygiene. Like, I feel like so many people in their adulthood don't recognize it. I actually talked to a Black woman recently about this because she was like, I had to remind my son several times to go brush his teeth. And I know I'm like nagging him, but I don't want him to go through what I went through with my teeth. And she was like, my parents did not reinforce, like, go floss, go brush, scrub your tongue, go rinse, right? And so I think a lot of people need to be reminded of that and also know that dental hygiene is directly related to your overall health. People go into like septic comas from having like abscesses in their gums or like infections, right, that go untreated. Like, people have died from that.
Heart attack.
Heart is directly related to heart disease. So like, taking care of your teeth. I know we say hygiene, but teeth specifically seems to be a thing that I've noticed in adulthood where people just kind of like slack up. And it's kind of mind-boggling for me because a lot of the people that I encounter that don't take care of their teeth have great jobs or are running successful, have benefits. They have the benefits. So it's not like,
more money than I could ever see, more money than I could ever imagine.
And I'm like, and so just wanted to call that out as like a piece of knowledge to share, like the importance of dental hygiene. It's attached to the rest of your health, overall health. It's so important beyond just how your teeth look.
Yeah. Not really a physical thing. It's more like this is an indicator of something deeper. It could be an indicator of mental health, of a lack of self-love.
Self-love, yes.
Self-worth.
Yeah.
And then also fear.
Yeah.
It could be some kind of fear about going to the dentist or washing your ass, or just like pathology, or they're just like your parents never taught you these things. And so I give grace a lot because I know I didn't know everything growing up. I learned a lot of stuff that a lot of people knew as a kid, I learned it and as an adult. So I do give a little bit of grace, but some of this stuff is a deal breaker because at this age, you need to know by now. And I'm not going to be the one to teach you. And then you're going to resent me, like you said, because it kind of goes back to that defensiveness because I'm not the one. I will let you know that, this is not working for me. And that's also a red flag if you get defensive about it versus like, oh, this person cares about me and is trying to help me improve my life and is just giving me feedback. So
right. Yeah. Remember that I dated someone that did not have the best dental hygiene. It was hard to navigate.
Not navigate.
It was because it's like like I was trying my best not to hurt his feelings, but at the same time, it's affecting me. Like,
yes,
it was bad. Like, I was just like, this isn't good. It's not healthy. It's not good for you. It's not good for me too. Because another thing, in addition to it affecting your health, like if you kiss someone with poor dental hygiene, you can increase your chances of getting cavities and having other issues. Like, it's a whole thing. There's a whole science behind it. And so, yeah.
Okay, doesn't smoke.
Ooh, no cigarettes, please.
Yeah, no.
I've tried that before.
I've tried.
It's my allergies off too, so it's just this is no go. I'm like,
and that includes. I feel like these days people think that vaping isn't smoking. That's smoking as well. Like, like tobacco's tobacco. Like, it's not.
It's all the same.
It's all the same.
I hear you.
What about you, Minnie? I mean, I'm getting, this is.
That's a good list. I see how fast I put this notepad to the side. I like wrote down your categories and then I was like, oh, what's that? What about me? Okay, I'm going to go through these categories. So in terms of looks, I would prefer someone.
Now I have the sirens.
Huh?
No, I have the sirens.
Oh, mine are going too. So I thought you meant mine. City life. In terms of looks, I don't have a lot of like looks requirements, but I prefer someone who is relatively in shape. Because again, it goes back to self-care, self-love, and I've done a lot of work to get to where I am and sacrificed a lot of things, as you know, which I'm sure I'll share more about in the series. But that is something that is big for me. And I cannot date someone who does not have at least decent eating habits and health habits, because I had to overcome so many poor habits. And if I'm around that, I'll start to gravitate. I've found myself in the past gravitating towards that person's bad habits. So I need somebody that, not perfect by any means. I'm not, that's for sure. But some kind of health consciousness. And
see, that's what I wonder. Sometimes I wonder if people see me and think, oh, she's overweight, she doesn't care about herself. That could be like a thing, she has a lack of self-love. That could be, but I've been all sizes too. So I've been smaller as well. So,
and people are in relationships of all sizes and shapes and everything else, right? This isn't to say and for me, it's not a complete deal breaker because again, I was in a place where I improved and I grew in that area and became better. So if I meet somebody and they're checking so many other boxes and I feel like they're going to get to that place or they're working at it already, probably consider it, right?
Right. Sometimes people can help you with that too. Like
they might be like us, where it's just like, I'm looking for my person. I just, I'm just like, ooh, this is the missing puzzle piece. And you just start elevating from there. Right. So looks, not a lot there. I've dated people shorter than me. I've dated larger people. I've dated people smaller than me. Like I don't discriminate. I'm just looking for somebody respectful. In terms of finances, I don't have a set number or.
Yeah, there's no number.
Yeah, like on the Kendra G show, what I will say though is listening to her show, because remember I was trying to get on there. I tried a few times and I was like, wow, if she were to select me, can I answer these questions? Because I'm like, have I actually sat down and reflected on them? So I've been thinking about them more, but I'm like, I don't have a set number, but I don't want to have to slow down the pace of my lifestyle for someone. And I've experienced that before where someone's like, oh, I don't have the money for this, or I can't do this. And I'm like, I need you to at least be able to match part of my lifestyle. I don't expect, and again, I'm not looking to hang out with you all the time. I still will be going on my solo dates by myself when I'm in a relationship. I'll still be hanging with my friends by myself.
But we do it with friends. Like I hang with you without a problem. And so
Yeah.
It should be, you should be able to meet someone you're able to hang with.
Exactly. So I need that. I don't want to have to slow down my pace is what I'll say. So there's no set number. Of course, it doesn't hurt if you are conscious and learning or already know about finance, investing, that kind of thing, because that's something of interest to me. It's something that I've started or been learning more about over the past year. Family, I want to date. I prefer someone that doesn't have kids, but again, that's not a complete deal breaker for me. But in terms of me actively searching, I'm not looking for someone with kids right now. So like my dating profile says deal breaker for kids. I want kids and I want my partner or whoever I'm dating to want kids. I don't want them to be like, oh, I might not. Either you want them or you don't. And I know for sure I want them. So that is a deal breaker. Somebody that's on the fence, because I don't want to build this relationship and fall in love with this person and dedicate all this time, and then we get to a place and you're like, I actually don't want kids.
I was just saying it to make, because
no, that's not gonna work for me. So yeah, there's that. Personality wise, I don't have, again, I'm open. I get along with pretty much anyone. You could be an introvert, you could be an extrovert, you could be an ambivert, you could be whatever you want to be. You could, if you're loud, that's cool. If that's you. If you're quiet, that's okay. But I do think it's important that you're still able to communicate effectively. And like, I've struggled in the past dating someone that was introverted to the, well, not even, it wasn't that they were introverted. They were, oh my gosh, what is the word? Like where you're socially, like they had social anxiety. And so around people, they weren't trying to do anything about it. And that's the problem, right? And so around people, like I've had friends be like, oh, are they okay? Like, that person cool? Right? You're right. And so I need someone that is able to still socialize to some extent. I don't expect you to accept every invite that I invite you to with friends, or want to go to every outing with where people are around. That's okay. But like you said, once in a while, you're gonna have to, like, it'll be nice, because that's my life. Like I'm a social person, so
I don't want completely separate lives.
Exactly. That defeats the purpose, right?
Yeah. Do that
so yeah, that's personality. Please have a sense of humor. Because I be saying some awful stuff.
Yes.
You know, like you gotta have a little sense of humor. I don't know if this falls into personality, but I certainly prefer people that question the status quo, that don't just take stuff at face value. I need somebody that is growth oriented, growth mindset, right? And wanting to improve. And then the other one you said was emotional intelligence. It just goes back to communication and like being supportive in the right moments, and don't expect you to be perfect, but willing to learn.
Same.
But yeah, well, we got our list. I gotta finish writing them down, but as soon as
I'm excited.
I'm gonna write a few things, jot the things that I just told you,
and kind of reflect and think about things and see what else I can add and see, I mean, I don't think any of these are very basic.
I was just gonna say, like, as you said, not like as I'm saying them, and most of them I'm like, but that's not a deal breaker, right? Like, so I'm like, I'm pretty open, but again, that goes back to, am I supposed to be more specific to manifest? Because people will be like, oh, I know exactly what my husband looks like. I dreamt about.
Like I've had friends like that. Like, he's this color eyes and all. I'm like, wow, it doesn't matter. Like I can't see him, I guess. Right?
That's amazing to me, truly. Any final thoughts, Boo? I appreciate you joining me.
Thanks for having me. Let's keep on keeping on.
Right. I can't wait to I can't wait to look back at this, like, once we're boot up.
Yes, on our vacation.
And like reflecting. We'll have to do a part 2 with our boos.
Yes.
Manifesting this for us.
Manifesting.
Yes. All right, Boo. Again, thanks to Miss Mo for joining us today. No, they Mo, not Miss Mo. What am I supposed to call you now? Do people still call you Miss Mo?
Yeah, you can call me whatever. That's
not, people can call you whatever. Wait, if you were a teacher,
you're the expert.
No, I'm not. If you were a teacher right now, what would your kids call you?
Monique.
Okay.
I don't know the culture now.
Stop. No, I don't know the culture now. That is true. I gotta talk to some current educators. I'm curious to know, like, what it looks like for like them as teachers, and then like how do they interact with their students? And yeah, good questions.
The students understand. Yeah, that's another conversation.
Right. Well, shout out to Mo for joining us today. Again, check out Two Girls Shooting the Shit, which is available on pretty much all streaming platforms, right?
Yeah, we're wherever you get your podcasts. And we're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter.
All of them.
Come through.
All of them. All right. Thanks, Boo. Love you.
Thanks. Love you too.
All right. See you soon.
Bye.
Bye.